Off! Run! Okay, so this one is going to be a relatively short video. Not because I'm lazy. Well, yeah, I am. But also because this game demo is really short. The game we'll be looking at is called Replaced, a 2.5D platformer cyberpunk thriller set in the 1980s in America. We play as Warren, an AI maker, AI god, AI scientist. Yeah, but due to the death of Warren's only friend and co-creator of the AI they were working on, Steven, it caused a critical overload that blew up the AI servers. Speaking of AI, the AI that they were working on is called Reach. Reach has been transferred to Warren's body via a damaged neural interface, which sounds awfully familiar.
If I need your body, I'll fucking...
But we learn from Reach that the damage control squad that arrived at the burning laboratory wasn't there to save them. Instead, they were there to eliminate them, telling us that our priority is to survive, get back to the laboratory, uncover the greedy corporation's motives, and return Warren's body back to him safely, which I highly doubt. As we walk forward down the road, definitely not eating the road while learning how to run and jump, Reach begins telling us some information on the surroundings. Namely, that according to the archives, the people that were living outside of the walls of the city that we're trying to get into apparently were provided with all the necessities that they needed. But despite this, the structures in the background, houses, gas stations, infrastructure, etc., but they all appear to be in ruins and in disrepair, suggesting that things at one point were working, but some disaster struck. Moving on, we grab this large box thingy climb thing, but we use it to get over this one big obstacle and get this alert.
To let you experience Replaced combat system more thorough, this demo features the Huck's gun ability, which is obtained at later stage in the full game.
I wonder how good it is. Hey, I mean, it's pretty good. So real quick, the combat system works like this. You beat up someone with your lightning rod baton thing, fill up the meter for your gun and use it either as a finisher or as a ranged attack that does a large amount of damage. And from what I can see from the combat, you can only really fight 4 enemies at a time. Now you get into really large kind of group fights, but you end up only really fighting like 4 enemies at once, which, yeah, that kind of makes sense. If you fought everyone in like a massive group, you'd probably just get your shit wrecked. So good that the developer decided to have that system in place. Moving on, we stumble across a sign that reads Southwest Labor District. Reach tells us that this district was part of Phoenix City before the walls were built. Now, real quick, since we're quite early in the video, Phoenix City is represented in the demo as almost like a Neverland type place where things are just perfect, like big utopia, big cities, big lights. But in all seriousness, Phoenix City definitely is a massive symbol of like a dystopia where like everyone is 100% oppressed. No one can criticize the corporations or anything like that. I mean, hell, they constantly mention how the city has walls, and like that's probably the biggest sign of oppression I've ever seen, like keeping desirables out while also having a area where they can just banish people. I mean, here's a screenshot from the game page on Steam where Warren is in a field approaching what looks to be the walls of the city. I'm not really sure, to be fair. I'm just gonna say it is, but it looks like from what you can see in the image, it has like solar panel looking things like on the top of the walls, I think. But I like to think those are like big LRAD devices. Now, if you don't know, LRAD just shoots like big sonic waves to people to get them to go away. I do subscribe to that theory, like that that's just around the entire city. Could you imagine if like Trump or something was this? We gotta deafen people. Make sure they can't hear anything. If they can't hear anything, they can't come in. That's pretty simple. But yeah, like I also do think that like there is definitely like something going on. Hey, wait, is it me or is the light behind the sign getting like a bit red? Yeah, so that piece of shit car in the distance there just casually shoots massive bolts at people just going about their day, I guess. Totally normal way to deal with things out here. But we do actually manage to get away being discreet and staying out of the light of the car killy thingy that's trying to kill us. Going through this rundown area, we find an eviction notice that we read on our little wingman. Real quick, I love the design of this little thing right here. I'm pretty sure it's a reference to the Sony Walkman. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a cassette player that only plays music. So think of vinyl, but a lot cheaper and less popular. And obviously the little cassette player that we have has been cyberpunked, retropunked? Yeah, whatever. But the version that we see has a little digital screen, but it still has that kind of element of like analog device thing. Yeah, I don't know. I just like it. We move into this abandoned Walmart type place where some weird mutant looking guys are just chatting away. From what the text says, they refer to themselves as termites. Now that makes sense with the car that we saw earlier being a termite car or whatever. From what I can see, they seem to be human that have mutated into, yeah, and have established a faction or clan type thing. A quick game theory. I personally like to think that these guys were hit by whatever nuclear activity happened in the catastrophe. I was thinking it was like a big boom boom atom bomb type deal, but it looks more like a Chernobyl type deal, which probably makes more sense with all the stuff going on outside being run down and whatever. Probably the radiation was a bit too high to live in, so that could be why everything's like this. But aside from that, we wreck their shit. Then shortly after, get visited by our BFF, the termite car thingy. See, I think this like clanker on wheels, I like to say, wouldn't notice the big bright yellow box thing moving on its own. Yeah, we don't talk about that. At this point, you know the drill. Fight a mob of guys single-handedly because Warren is a beast and getting stuck trying to get past this wall. Eventually getting into this field and off, run. Yeah, so we get into this one building where we need to do this puzzle thing. It's not really a puzzle. It's just you got to move stuff around and then give power for the little bookcase, I guess. It's not really a puzzle, but this allows us to go forward, running into the largest, fattest, greediest motherfucker known to man, which we have to fight. Defeating Mr. Big and Greedy, we get yet another visit from our favorite car truck pew pew thingy. Now at this point it's kind of Jover. I don't know what Warren's gonna do in this situation. Like he's pretty much dead. Wait, hang on. What is that music? Yeah, so our knight in shining armor, Tempest, introduces himself. He mentions how he usually picks up newbies from the pit, whatever that means, while Warren introduces himself as Reach. Yeah, not Warren, Reach. So this AI is probably going to be taking over our body, and it might be Jover, but it could just be a cover name and Warren's just hiding the fact that he might be a well-known scientist or whatever. But Warren does follow Tempest there and joins him in his vehicular vehicle, and that's where the demo comes to an end. Like almost all the demos we cover, this one's relatively short, but I really like what it shows so far. If you don't know, I really like the whole cyberpunk aesthetic, and of course this game takes place in the 1980s, but I love the blend of retro and cyberpunk. Like it adds two things I very much like aesthetically and merges them into one big beautiful looking game. I do find the story behind it as well quite interesting too. Like what secrets does the Phoenix Corporation have that we're trying to expose? What purpose was Reach? Like what were they trying to discover with him? Like was it an AI that was supposed to help everyone? Is it just some mad scientist trying to make an AI to kill everyone? You don't know. And like what nuclear catastrophe happened in the story? Was it a nuclear spill? Was it like a Hiroshima like big bomb, big boom thing? Or was it like, you know, a Chernobyl type event and everyone just had to evacuate the kind of like surrounding areas? But we won't know until next month, which is when this game comes out. I would say definitely to keep an eye on it. And of course, if you do like platformer games that aren't necessarily like too hard to kind of learn, but do like atmospheric story-driven games, then I would definitely suggest checking out the demo and then waiting next month for the actual game to release. So yeah. Bye.